So, briefly, because we've been playing the game for 5 hours, what do you guys think of this?
I think I like it. It's a very fun game. I don't know if it's a me problem or a game problem, but I feel like there's so many different types of cards, and they're all in this one deck that I almost never saw sponsors or anything like interesting.
I don't know how that happened.
I was just all animals all the time, and there were like none here, and like you had a bunch of so it felt hard for me to understand what like because everyone's going a different route and. Unlike a game like, it reminded me of Clank, but with Clank, everyone starts with a base, and you build upon that base, and you see what build. This felt like Clank, but everyone starts at a completely random power level.
You're right.
I think this game has set out to be an engine builder.
Yeah.
But the deck is so massive.
Yeah. It's too big.
That you cannot have any sort of a plan with what engine you're trying to build.
Yeah. Especially when you get
because it's completely random what cards you're gonna get. I got lucky as to get so many primate cards to be able to play and chain together, and then when that well dried up, I was done. I couldn't score any more points.
The only thing
I kept getting a lot of like really good animal cards, but I couldn't make enough money to spend a lot of them, so I'm like...
Yeah. I think this has the bones of a great game. I think they tried to do too much with it because because the deck is just way too big.
Yeah.
I liked the zoo building.
Yeah, I wish there was more of that.
Yeah, I wish it was more focused on this and less of the card. Like, I'm not... Like, I like the action, like being able to pick your actions and it changing like the strength of them. I like that mechanic and I like the zoo. I wasn't such a fan of kind of how a lot of these cards kind of played out. Like, I felt like it was too much. They were trying to make too many unique cards instead of, like, a structured framework.
Yeah, if there were repeat cards, that would, I think, like, even if the deck were this big, if half the cards were repeats, that would completely change it.
Yeah,
okay,
I agree.
Let me throw some out there. Though Lux as RNG kind of whole thing is, like, really into it. Would you play any differently if you played it again?
I don't know what
Maybe?
I don't...
the way I played it was dictated by the cards I was
Yeah, I don't know that I could have done things differently, but I don't know... Like normally in these types of games, I'm like, this is the moment I lost the game, or this is the moment where I really set myself... I don't know what I could have done differently, besides drawing cards sooner in certain... Which is not really, you know...
Right?
You know.
It's just like... happened to get some good cards that went with what I was building at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I was able to make some...
And I didn't feel like I was building an engine, really.
Right, yeah.
Because you can't try to build an engine.
There was some
the cards
stuff.
Are too random.
Well, but you definitely weren't building an engine because you didn't have any of the sponsorship
Yeah, I didn't have any.
And that was the...
That's where
the
engine
building powers and the little engines.
And the fact that that's the same deck as everything else is...
Maybe if they split these out into, like, their own decks and you could purchase... Like, specifically, like, I want to buy some more animals, or I want to buy some conservation
projects. If, like, the sponsorships were just this, and then, like...
I think
each deck you pull out and you've got just, like, one of each type available at all times,
I feel like the display was very seldom utilized for us, and I don't know if that's just because we got unlucky with what cards came out in there.
Which, I mean, that happens, like, in Wingspan, like, half the time you don't care about any of the birds there, but you can always wipe it in Wingspan, and it's only...
you can't here? I feel like this is underutilized, or just it was luck of the draw, we just had cards show up here. But I feel like for us to play the game for 5 hours and not get any decent cards in the display indicates to me that there's a problem of some sort.
The thing that... They kind of...
You know what I mean?
The thing that really irked me was when, towards the end of the game, you tried to play a card and it was like, oh, you can't play this card because you're past this point. And I was like, well, why does that card fucking exist then?
Yeah. And question, about the entire game, did any of you guys even once see a 5 animal?
I did.
Elephant.
There's one right there.
Yeah,
this is the only one I saw.
I didn't see very many of them, though.
I played an ostrich, and I had a bear, but I couldn't play it because I needed a bear already in my zoo to play it. And I was like, I'm tucking it, because when am I going to get another bear?
Yeah, and I was burning big enclosures on smaller animals a lot, too.
Yeah, I was trying to, like, save it, but at a certain point, I'm like, well, I don't know what animals I'm gonna get.
I think I put a size 3 animal in a size 5 enclosure.
It's hard. It's hard because you have to build for the you build enclosures for animals that you don't have. You buy you get animal cards for places you get that you can't afford, and you gain it's just
or don't have space to put on your board anymore or something.
And then like
I don't follow the hype on this game. Like, it's not that I dislike it.
No.
I just feel like it's
interesting.
It's almost there, and it's not for me.
I wanted a game where I felt like I was building a zoo, and instead I felt like I was trying to build an engine, which can be fun. I like engine building games. I didn't feel like I was building a zoo.
Yeah, no, I completely lost the thematic on this.
I didn't really feel like I was building an engine either, though.
Yeah.
Because there's no strategy.
It was mostly a rush
to use on that because the cards are too.
It was a rush to unlock everything, which you can't unlock everything.
You can't, which I think is cool, but
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I think the big issue for me is something to do with the display and the size of the deck. If you cut the deck in half, or you put some duplicate cards in there, and then you refresh this faster somehow, to be able to give players a little bit more agency in what cards they have access to, I think that would be enough to get it to where I'm like, okay, now I feel like I'm building an engine, and that's my goal here.
Yeah.
I feel like Terraforming Mars falls into that same category though.
Yeah.
Like you're building an engine, but you have to be reliant on your cards you get. It's the same, just one big ass deck.
That deck's not nearly as big though.
No, but it's still super big. That's a lot of cards in there.
I'm a big fan of Terraforming Mars. I would need to play this again to have like a final version that I like more.
It was like this, but more like resource management.
Yeah.
Like different pools of resources, and less like.
And there's one map where everybody's building on that instead of four separate maps. Which, for my money, I think I like Terraforming Mars better. There's a little bit more player interaction in that game. There's not a lot more. It's still a Euro game.
Also, like there's almost no player interaction, which is I'm fine with no player interaction, but also like that mechanic of poisoning you. Like I was like, that seems not fun. Like,
right? Yeah,
that seems
just randomly. It's just the really small little like.
I don't
screw you.
Yeah,
it's like what?
I don't mind that if there's more of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's enough of it. in this game.
And I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm not a fan of real life pictures on cards.
Yeah,
in games.
Really?
I don't like, especially with all the mixed up like art. Like it looks all like cartoony, and then you've got.
I think that there's.
I don't mind that. That didn't bother me.
I agree with you because the box doesn't look like anything in here. And these pictures don't match anything on this, so it's like
There's
three
no
kinds.
For the thematics.
I don't understand a lot of this. Like I get why these are tickets, I guess, but I don't get why it's shields. But it doesn't. Whatever. Yeah, it's
got that Euro dry. Like we themed it, but
it's got a theme.
It's more about gameplay than theme.
It's more about this incredibly intricate engine that we've built, which is.
I want to see the game that they made before the publisher slapped this theme on it. I want to see like what they
what it was.
Before. Oh, you don't think it was a zoo before?
Probably not.
I mean,
Maybe
who
not.
knows? I think I'm just way more into like games that feel thematic, which this is a very hardcore Euro game, and that's not what it's here to do.
No.
Okay, what would you get rid of?
I'll let Dustin.
Personally, I get rid of this right here.
Which? The conservation track?
Or
the reputation track.
Like I can either get rid of that, or maybe like this one right, this whole side over here.
I don't mind.
Just like one bit of victory points, I think would be.
I kind of dig the whole 2-track thing. I think in practice it's hard because it was very clear I wasn't gonna win when Kyle and Dustin were taking off. I was like, because Dustin and me were pretty close in line in terms of this, but he was so far in conservation, it was clear I had no possible chance.
The biggest thing that I would change is the sheer number of cards in the deck.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest pet peeve.
With as long as we played it and as many cards as we went through, we only got through half of that deck. Because every card in that deck is unique, which is just obscene to me. for what this game is, for how much engine building there can be in it,
and I think
it's just too random.
And for 3 distinctive and different types of cards to be the same
be mixed into the same deck. Yeah,
I'd say separate the decks out. trim some of the fat, like this donation stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like some of that stuff wasn't really necessary. It was just thrown in.
A couple extra mechanics tacked on.
Give them another way
like,
to spend some money for this. You know?
Right.
I don't know.
Things that could have been saved for an expansion.
Yeah.
There it is.
Get it or don't.
Like, I'm not gonna run out and buy it.
Yeah.
But
It's also pricey, but that's because it's a big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit in this box.
yeah.
This
Which is another complaint that I have is how much friggin' table space it takes up.
Yeah.
But that's one of my pet peeves.
This is one of those games you get because you and your friends play a load of board games and you want to do. You're like, let's do one of these hardcore Euro games.
Yeah, this is
I'm
big in the
tired
board
of-
game community because it is for hardcore board gamers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like that, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, go on over to twitch.tv/BnBTabletop and give us a follow there. We play board games live every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time on a show we call The Board and Barrel. And it's a very interactive broadcast. We have house rules that you guys can influence throughout the course of the game, virtual bingo, you can bet on who's gonna win. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you there.